Newcastle are in the final. They put on a brilliant performance against Arsenal at St James's Park, winning 2-0, and in aggregate it's 4-0 actually, and they have reached the final for the second time in their last 3 seasons. Before we start this video, please make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel, because we make daily content around football, especially what's going on in the Premier League every day. And I'd be glad if you comment down below what you think about this game and every other game as well. Newcastle started aggressively and even scored an early goal, which was disallowed by VAR, but you could see from the very beginning that the atmosphere in this stadium was affecting Arsenal players, and for me it was only the matter of time before they received the goal, and it finally happened. Before Newcastle scored their first goal, Odegaard had a golden opportunity to score the first goal for his team, but missed it with a poor shot. And maybe in another day Odegaard scores that, but that's why I never compare him to the likes of De Bruyne or Toni Kroos, because those players were so elite that they'd score that shot every time. Only a minute after that miss, Newcastle launched the long ball as a counter-attack, and Isaac, oh my god, the way he shook off Saliba and played the ball to Gordon, and then he also set Isaac for a great one-on-one situation. You could just see the chemistry between these two guys, and the shot from Isaac, it was so beautiful. It went and hit the post, and then Murphy actually scored an open goal from that. After the first goal, this game became almost identical to the first leg. Newcastle started defending with their big physical defenders such as Shaw, Byrne, and even Botman. And Dubravka also had a great game. But what frustrates me more than anything as a football fan is that despite everything that happened in the first leg and the way Arsenal tried crossing the ball in that game but never got an answer, Arteta still makes crossing his main tactic for scoring goals against them. I mean, what the hell? You're not going to score a goal from an aerial duel against Dan Byrne or Fabian Schär. I mean, Newcastle defenders are so big and physical and great in the air that even the likes of Saliba and Gabriel, who are also great in the air, they couldn't score goals against Newcastle. And how the game progressed told us from the very beginning that Newcastle could score the second one as well. It was coming either from a counter-attack or a misplaced ball by defenders. And oh my god, Saliba had a very bad game. I mean, his worst game in an Arsenal shirt, I believe. Because the way the atmosphere of St James's Park affected his game, and Raya as well, because it was Raya's misplaced ball that led into the second goal of Newcastle. They were all bad. In terms of defending, Arsenal didn't show up. I think this game showed us Arsenal isn't actually as good as how they seemed against Manchester City, beating them 5-1. Because, let's be honest, Manchester City is also having a bad season. But also, Arsenal isn't as bad as they seemed in this game and the first leg. They only need 1 or 2 more players in this side to be able to grind out results of tough games like this one. I think after humbling Manchester City and Erling Haaland in the Emirates, Arsenal players needed a humbling as well, and it came from Newcastle in the St. James's Park. I think this could have a good and positive effect on their season, because now they learn that no victory is guaranteed unless with a lot of hard work. And you have to understand that there are a lot of great teams in this league and in these competitions, that if you don't work as hard as every time against them, you're gonna get hurt. And when I'm talking about humbling, I'm not talking about Arsenal fans, because fans deserve to be cocky when they're winning, especially like a great win against City side with 5 goals. I mean, they deserve to celebrate that and be cocky about it. That's what makes football beautiful. But just like the first leg, the main issue that Arsenal was having in this game was lacking a complete great striker. And a great example of what they're missing was in front of them the whole time. Alexander Isak. With strikers like Isak, you can have creativity in your side. You can have multiple ways to break down the opposition's defense. The exact one thing that Arsenal couldn't do today. They just crossed the ball and hoped for the best. And when you think about it, I think it's crazy how Arsenal didn't buy anyone in this January transfer window, because they already lacked personnel in that front line. But then they lost Bukayo Saka to an injury, they lost Gabriel Jesus to an injury, and after that, you think they're now obligated to buy someone. And some people may say, oh, they didn't want to just sign anyone, and they're waiting so that they could bring in someone like Isak in the summer. But it's not guaranteed. Yes, you may go after Isak or Sheshko or anyone you want to buy in the summer transfer window. You may go after them, but other teams aren't staying still. I mean, Liverpool's gonna need a striker. Manchester United's gonna be there. It's not guaranteed that the player that you're looking for comes to your club. And this is your season. This is your opportunity to win something. Because next year, who knows what's going on next year? Maybe this Chelsea team progressed and now you're the third team in the league. So you have to capitalize on your opportunities to win something. And how Arsenal didn't buy a striker in this January transfer window just shows the lack of ambition in this side and in their board actually. And some other people make the case of trusting Arteta and how he thought he could end the season with the players that he already have. But the one thing that shouldn't have happened to Arsenal actually happened in the Newcastle game, and Martinelli went down with what looked like a hamstring injury. What you gonna do now? Now you're gonna regret not bringing in someone in the January transfer window more than ever. But anyway, what's done is done, and the way we criticize Arteta and Arsenal, it doesn't take any credit away from Newcastle. They were brilliant and they deserve to be in this final. And now they just have to wait for the Liverpool against Tottenham game and see who's going to be facing them at Wembley. As for Arsenal, they can now be totally focused on winning the Premier League, and they'll soon be headed to Dubai for a training camp, the same they did last year, which played a huge role in their success towards the end of the season. And maybe that training camp would help them win the remaining games of their Premier League campaign too, and maybe have a chance of winning it. Because let's be honest, Arsenal is not going to win the Champions League. With the players that they have, and with the players that they've lost throughout the season to injuries, I don't think Arsenal is going to be winning the Champions League. They may go on a good run in the Champions League, but I don't think they'll win it. Because that's not Arsenal. but the Premier League, there's still a good chance. So guys, tell me what you think about Arsenal and their season. Tell me, who do you think Newcastle will face in the finals and who will win it? Share your thoughts with me around Arteta, if he should stay or leave after this season. And please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more daily content around football. And I'll be seeing you next time very soon.